So now that I am somewhat done cleaning this bed, I did a lot of pruning, I did a lot of cleaning, I took some weeds out, I even had to take some of the geraniums, the annual geraniums that I have here, because they were in the spot where I wanted to plant a couple more annuals. I added some rocking fuchsia salvias, and I think that they're going to be great here. I got those locally at one of my local garden centers, and I think that they're going to be great here. They have a nice purple bloom color that I think that is just going to be great, and hopefully they like it here. They're already huge plants, they're already huge annuals, so I am hopeful that they'll fill in this bed nicely, because I think that it just needs a little pick me up. If you don't know, if you're looking at this video for the first time, my husband, there's a bunch of hummingbirds around. My husband is redoing the roof himself, and he was working on this side of the house for the last few weeks, and he did his best to take care of the plants. He put a lot of plywood to cover the plants, but you know, in the process some of the things got broken, some of the things got sideways, and it is what it is, right? So I just came here and cleaned everything the best that I could, and I'm hopeful that maybe in the next couple of weeks things are going to start filling up. The nasturtiums are looking a little bit sad. Hopefully, you know, they pick up. And actually, one of the things that I discovered recently while I was here cleaning is that I have a volunteer hyacinth bean vine that it just came out on its own this year. I did have those plants there last year on that trellis, and I hardly had any blooms. I think it was just too rich. The soil was too rich for those type of plants from what I read. And but I had a couple of blooms, and that was enough for, you know, the soil to get some seeds in there and just push them out this year. So I'm excited. I mean, I don't know if they'll bloom. They're looking a little bit weak, but I mean, it's fine, I'll take it. But also what I'm going to be doing here soon, before the sun comes in on this side of the house, I am going to be installing some irrigation. And if this is the first time that you're watching this video, I don't really have any irrigation systems in my gardens. I love watering by hand. And I said that, you know, like, I don't really need the irrigation system because, you know, sometimes we get rain, sometimes it's a nice combination of me having to water and rain happening, and it's fine. But this year has been so crazy hot here in central Indiana, and my plants are suffering. I am watering every day. I concentrate on one side of the house in one day and the next side the other day. I can't keep up, especially with things in containers. I probably, oh my gosh, all these hummingbirds are gorgeous. I have a lot of hummingbirds. So if there was a year that convinced me, that pushed me really into installing an irrigation system for helping me, it will be this year, because temperatures in the mid 90s for extended periods of time is definitely something that I need help with as far as watering my plants. So I am going to be using, I am trying to make it super easy for myself, and I am going to be using 1/2 inch pipe with emitters every 18 inches. This is the easiest as they come. I did have one bed with irrigation from 2 years ago that I kind of wanted to try it, and I used the whole 1/2 inch black tubing with emitters. The emitters that you make yourself, you make holes and you put, you know, like emitters everywhere where you need them, and it was a huge mess. Winter came and those things were popping left and right, and it was a huge mess. So I don't want to go that route. This is the easiest as far as I can tell. The emitters are already inside. It will be just a matter of trying to empty them before winter comes, so they are nice and fitted for the next year. And I have my, and I also have a timer, a single timer that I'm going to be using. And then I have this pressure regulator. It's super easy. This goes into your hose that you have, your water access. It installs to your timer, and this is where the pipe runs, and it's perfect. And to help me guide the tubing, the 1/2 inch tubing that I have here, I got a bunch of connections. These are connections specifically made for the 1/2 inch pipes or tubings. And if I want to, you know, to cut in the middle and guide it on a 90 degree, I can do that. Or if I have a corner of one, I can use this guide for my ends. So these are the only things that I really purchased separately, but I mean, it cannot be easier than that, right? So I don't know how much I am going to be able to show before the sunshine already comes on this side, but I think that I am going to, this is really not super advanced. I am going to be just kind of figuring out where I want my tubing to go, what I want water. Basically where it lays, that's going to be watering. I am going to probably run a line over here all the way at the end of the bed. I'm going to make a cut. I'm going to use one of my connections to bring it back along the line of the wall, and then I am going to make another connection there where it connects here, so it will be somewhat a circle going around the bed. And then I'm going to make a connection where it just goes halfway along the bed, so I will have basically 3 lines running along the beds, if that makes sense. Okay, that actually worked out really well. I was able to not make any cuts on my 1/2 inch tubing. I just went around it. I started all the way on the back. I kind of wrap it around my boxwood. I went around the bed and then I move it around here. So it's not a complete 90-degree corner where I have it. I am going to get some garden staples and I am going to place the tubing where I want it exactly when I'm done here. But what I'm going to do is that I am going to connect. Here's where, here's the end. Here's where I started. This is the part that went around. I brought it around my boxwood and I am going to connect it here. So I already have 2 lines going basically, the one closer to the wall and the one here closer to the boxwoods. And I am going to make an access over there from the very front of the bed to the very back so that I can just run a 3rd line along here. And I am going to make a connection where the water is, and it should be pretty easy, right? I think having this system here is just going to help me, you know, water every 3, every 4 days, because the roots are going to get very large amounts of water. I mean, this thing is slow, but if I can run it for an hour or so every 3 or 4 days, I think that the roots are just going to get plenty of water. And if anything needs water here where I see something that it's looking a little bit sad, I can just come here and add water easily. But I don't have to do this, you know, every other day by myself, by hand. I mean, I love to do it, but if I don't have to, I can spend that time doing something else, because there's always something else that needs to be done. And these are going to be the connections that I'm going to be using to add the next tubing going in the middle. So basically these will be, I'm going to make a cut on the main tubing and I'm going to connect it here so the water can keep on going. But I'm also going to have another access, which is the third line of tubing that is going to go from one end of the bed to the other. And that's basically what the connection will look like on each side of the bed. So this is the area where I'm going to make the cut. It's not all the way on the other side of my boxwood. I'm going to make it here. So this is going to be looking like this when it's all said and done. Just want to make sure that I am not cutting at the very side of the emitter. The emitter is right here and the other one is right over here. So right there, the water is just going to come through just like it did before, but now I have an access where my third tubing is going to come here. So the camera was not recording when I attached the other tubing here. It's basically the same way that I did this, and I'm using just these regular garden staples just to keep everything nice and intact here. So the sun keeps going in and out, but I am running into a little bit of a problem with the water connection. My water access that I have on the wall on that side is not really too high from the ground. It's only about 10 inches tops in height from the ground level. And because I have water access there to my hose link, to my hose reel that I have behind me, I have already a hose buried down there. I need water access to that all the time. So this will be where the water connects. This is my two-way where This is for my irrigation before the bed. This is for the hose that it brings water to my hose link. And this Gigama thingy right here is just a water regulator that attaches to your timer, to your hose, whatever it is that you are going to attach it. So this thing basically attaches to one-way hose. You got your timer. So by the time that I, add my water pressure regulator, my timer, and my connection for the hose, this thing will be like very, because this, let me jump in here really quick and show you the part that is next to my timer. I forgot to record that at the beginning, so I'm just adding this in. This is the tubing that I have been using, the 1/2 inch tubing, and this is the adapter that basically turns any of your pipes, or tubing in this case, into a hose end, ready to be attached to a hose. If you were using a 1/4 inch tubing, you will need one for your size, but this is the one that I have for my 1/2 inch tubing. And your pipe, make sure this is all the way up. Pipe just goes all the way in, and then you tighten this down. And then this 1/2 inch tube is ready to be attached to a hose very easily. Let's continue. If you look at it, this will be connected to the water. This is about ground level, and I can't do anything for that. So my husband looked at it and he said he was gonna get something at the store. He just went for me, thank goodness. I have been out here since this morning and it's probably noon already. And I know that because my water fountain just turned off, and I have it to turn off at noon so that it can give itself a break. So anyway, the lovely side of gardening, thank goodness I only have to do this once, fingers crossed. So okay, so I just show you the problem that I had with this thing, and what my husband got basically is this is a hose swivel. So let me see if I can show it to you. So this thing will be attached to your water right here, and then it just basically swivels from one side to the other depending where you need it to go to. So this thing is going to be attached here, and that's basically going to be my like a 90-degree axis. Okay, this thing, it was originally like this. So basically this thing can swivel depending where you need it to go. It's already attached nicely on both sides. So I can just move my timer or everything else that I need here this way, or if I need it to go towards the front, it's this way. So very neat. I like it better than anything else. So this is exactly what I needed. Okay, just to give you an idea of where everything is placed here, I have this green hose right here. It's the hose that is buried right here all the way to the other side to my hose reel, to my hose link that I have. And that water, I need it to be all the time on. And right here's my water axis, and see how short it is from the ground. That's exactly what I was talking about. So this guy right here is feeding the hose link all the time. There's no timer on this, and nicely and secure. And this right here is the swivel that my husband just purchased. Here's my water pressure regulator, here's my timer, and here's my connection that is going to be attached to the tubing, to the irrigation that I have on this flower bed. And that's the one that I needed basically to connect. This pipe right here doesn't have any emitters. I just got a big chunk that doesn't have anything. So because the line that is closer, the irrigation, the brown irrigation tube that is closer to the wall is just really too close to my connections here, I am going to use the one that it's in the middle. This is the line that is running here in the middle of the bed, and I already checked. I have an emitter right about here facing down, so this will be the perfect spot for me to make a cut. And this is the accessory that I'm going to be using for doing that connection. I'm going to make a cut right here on the main line, and then I am going to attach this connection, this attachment, and hopefully it will work out at the end. And hopefully I don't have any other problems, because I am really done here. It's most of this garden bed right now, it's already in the sunshine, bright sunshine, and yeah, we'll see. Wish me luck. bed may look a little bit sad right now with everything that is going on and all of the damage that it suffered, but I am confident in here in a couple of weeks with the extra water and maybe a little bit of fertilizer, annual fertilizer that is going to look amazing and that it's going to be a success. Thank you for being here, you guys, and until the next time.